Motor voter registration is one of the worst things in the world. One of the worst things in the world. It's so stupid. It's so unbelievably stupid. If you want to vote, if you want to participate in the civics of this country, get off your lazy ass and go do something about it. I don't want people that have no desire to vote voting. I don't want people that it's like, oh, well, I guess, you know, if they're going to make it so simple for me that I don't have to do a goddamn thing, then I'll vote. I don't want those people voting. I want people that are reading up on what's going on in the world, what's going on in our country. Even though it's all propaganda, I want those people interested, engaged. I don't want the person that has no clue what the hell's going on and is only voting because every single thing the government did made it so simple for them to vote that it's only taking 8 seconds out of their life to do it. I don't want those people voting. And on top of that, when they make it so simple that it compromises the integrity of our voter rolls in our elections, that makes it even worse. We don't know. The bottom line is we don't know how many illegals are on our voter rolls because 21 states, all Democrat states, all sanctuary states with the highest population of illegal immigrants and even legal immigrants, visas and green card holders, those states are suing to stop this from happening. We do not know how bad our voter rolls are. And I'm not a big voter roll fan. I'm not like that's not the sexy thing with election integrity to me. I totally understand its importance. I totally get it. And I probably know more than 99% of Americans about it. But it's not my wheelhouse. But I still fundamentally understand and actually probably more at an intricate level how compromised our voter rolls are. Not many people have written as much about Eric and read the Eric bylaws like I have and seen that when these states send their voter registrations off to Eric for the cleaning and maintaining of their voter rolls, Eric refuses to allow them to send naturalization and citizenship data with those voter rolls. Most people don't know that. And so now seeing not just the federal judge, but our own Congress pushing back against it is insane. Now watch this. This is Tommy Tupperville saying a half-truth, and I'll stop in a moment.
And then, of course, President Trump wants same-day voting, mail ballots, get rid of these voting machines. There's a half a dozen people, whether it's the House or Senate, Larry, that are up here as we speak, that did not get elected. It was all bogus.
Okay, so I'll stop there. He says half a dozen. It's not half a dozen. There's maybe half a dozen that are legitimately elected up there. The rest are all illegitimate. Until you can prove their legitimacy, until you can prove that these people are legitimately elected by being completely and totally transparent in your elections, they're all illegitimate. They are. And that's why they accomplish nothing. That's why the highlights of our Congress is them yelling and screaming like Meeks was last week and Maxine Waters was last week, and all these other retards are screaming at each other because that's all they can do. Let me play the rest of the Tupperville clip, and then I'll play what was one of the most outrageous clips I've heard, and it's from a Republican, but one of the most outrageous clips I've heard I'm going to play following this Tupperville clip.
Because we've seen the evidence, and if we don't straighten that out, you're going to see a lot more of it this fall, and it's just going to get worse and worse with the American people saying, listen, we got all y'all up there, and you don't do anything to straighten it out. We want closed borders, and we want fair elections. Those two things they are demanding, and as Republicans, we had better to listen to them and do that, or we're going to lose next fall.
A lot of states, don't even have an ID picture. And by the way, I vote in the state of Connecticut. You don't need an ID. You don't need a picture. You could show them a credit card, Senator. Anybody can get a credit card, any kind of credit card. You can show them a debit card, and that's sufficient. Many states allow driver's licenses. Well, anybody can get a driver's license. Some states are allowing illegals to get driver's licenses for commercial purposes. So the SAVE Act would eliminate that stuff. It's very important, but you got to make the case. I don't hear many people making the case.
All right, so I mean, I'm in line with all of the things that he said there. Tupperville says the right things. He is correct. The only thing I push back on is the legitimacy thing. I don't think that we have any legitimately elected officials. That's just my opinion. Let's go to this clip here because this is how much these people are out of touch with Americans. John Thune talking about the SAVE Act.
Let's listen here.
Try to outlast the Democratic minority under current rules. Do you have any expectation that you can succeed with that, given the enormous difficulty of doing that? In fact, the previous majority has not been able to.
Right. Well, I guess, and I would just remind people that the coin in the realm in the Senate is floor time. There's a finite amount of it. And we have a lot of things we have to do. There's a housing bill that's awaiting action, hopefully a market structure bill, possibly permitting reform, farm bill, highway bill. You can go right down the list. Russia sanctions. There are a whole bunch of things that could be teed up for action on the floor of the Senate. And so you have to make some judgments, and the conference will have a conversation about that. I've committed to that we will talk about that idea and determine whether or not what the conference's views are about it and how they want to proceed. As I said, we will vote on the SAVE Act, but exercising or triggering a talking filibuster has ramifications, implications that I think everybody needs to be aware of. So we will have those discussions, but that's obviously ties the floor up for an indefinite amount of time with not only unlimited debate, but also unlimited amendments.
All right, rather we had.
This is why these people, me and Ash were talking about this last night on Why We Vote. This is why these people won't come on our shows. Well, we have all these other things that we have to do. No, you're illegitimate. Until you clean up our elections, you don't have anything to do. Name your post office, put your little fucking banners up on your government buildings, pass your continuing resolutions every 3 months and make it like doomsday, the sky is falling, because that's all that you can do. Why? Because you're not the representatives of these people, of the people of the United States. You do not represent us. We have no faith in our elections, and this is broad. The SAVE Act has 84% polling approval among the American people. There is nothing, and that's bipartisan, by the way, 84% bipartisan. Democrats, Republicans, independents, libertarians, everybody. We all agree on this. And you fucking cowards are like, well, we've got bills, Russian roadways and the LGBTQ transgenders in Pakistan, and we got to make sure we get that budget passed again, or we're going to shut down the government. Shut the fuck up. 84%, John Thune. Bring that bill to the floor and make them filibuster that bill for a month. Make them filibuster it for a month. And the whole time they're filibustering it, hold up CNN's Harry Enton in the background showing that 84% of Americans are in agreement with the SAVE Act, with requiring voter ID, with requiring proof of citizenship. Telling us that cleaning up our elections, we got to make sure that it's the right time to do it. While 84%, that's not a representative democracy. That is not a republic. That is not a representative republic, a constitutional republic. You are not representatives of us if you have 84% in approval of something and you're not fucking doing it. Period. If you want to be strategic about it, do exactly what I just said. Make them filibuster this forever. And the whole time, hold up the numbers. Where is it? Right here. Hold up these numbers the whole entire time. In favor of photo ID, 83%, 81%, 76%. Going all the way back to 2018, pre-Trump election fraud and all that. 2018, 76%. I'm sorry, guys. I am very passionate about this one because I don't think there's any more of a more glaring issue than this issue right here. The things that John Thune just said about why you have to be strategic to do something that 84% of Americans agree with. This means that you have a U.S. Senate and a U.S. House that are placating, that are pandering to 16% of the population. That is not a representative democracy. That is not democracy. That's their favorite word. That is not a representative republic. That is a fucking government of oligarchical nitwits that are illegitimately elected, that are beholden to their corporate donors and the people who want the stolen elections to keep the status quo, to keep these swamp rats in office. Fuck them. I'm sorry. This is the hill that John Thune should be dying on. And this is the hill that he could win the midterms on if they filibuster it. Make Chuck Schumer filibuster this. Make AOC, whoever. Well, AOC can't filibuster. She's in the House. Make the Democrats filibuster this in the Senate, John Thune. He's not a serious person. He's not a serious person. I'm sorry. Like this is something I don't get to do this on daily because I try and be a little bit more professional on daily, but this is fucking. Let me play that John Thune clip one more time. John Thune, you are a scumbag. You are an absolute swamp rat scumbag.
Let's listen here.
Try to outlast the Democratic minority under current rules. Do you have any expectation that you can succeed with that, given the enormous difficulty of doing that? In fact, the previous majority has not been able to.
Right. Well, I guess, and I would just remind people that the coin in the realm in the Senate is floor time. There's a finite amount of it. And we have a lot of things we have to do. There's a housing bill that's awaiting action. Hopefully.
Does anybody know what housing bill he's talking about? No, but 84% know about the SAVE Act.
Market structure bill, possibly permitting reform.
Permitting reform? Oh, permitting reform. That's excellent. Govern me harder, Daddy. I need to know more. I got to make sure that you guys can come out there and make sure that I can't build a fucking shed in my backyard because I don't have a permit, or we need permits for watershed. More government. We got to vote on more government. We don't want to vote for good representation that's actually indicative of the will of the people, but more government. Permitting reform for sure.
Farm bill, highway bill. You can go right down the list. Russia sanctions. There are a whole bunch of things.
Oh, Russia sanctions. Got to get those Russia sanctions in there. Got to get those Russian sanctions. As the president is literally talking about sovereignty among nations, let's make sure we sanction the second leading superpower in the world. Please, let's make sure we get these Russia sanctions. These people are not fucking serious people, guys. These people are not fucking serious people. 84%. Let me put the Harry Enton clip back up there. In fact, let's play the Harry Enton clip because this is CNN, guys. This is CNN turning the screws on John Thune. This is CNN turning the screws on John Thune. I am in Harry Enton's camp.
ID, just so people understand, is the idea that someone shows a photo ID when they go to vote, when
Correct.
they go to cast their actual ballot, because there's a separate discussion right now about needing a passport or a birth certificate to register to vote, but the polling is all on voter ID showing an
Correct.
ID to vote.
Showing a photo ID to vote. And the American people are with Nicki Minaj, because what are we talking about here? So take a look here. Favor voter ID to vote. Look, I got all this polling on the screen going back since 2018. You'll notice on all of it, it's all north of 75%, 76%, 76%, 76%, 81%, and then 83% in the last year of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj. They favor photo ID to be able to vote.
What about by party? What's the party breakdown?
Yeah, normally you might expect, hey, there'd be a big divide by party with Republicans really for it and Democrats really against it, but not really here. I mean, just take a look here. Favor photo ID to vote. You got 95% of Republicans, pretty much all of them, but even 71% of Democrats favor photo ID to vote. So again, Nicki Minaj posting that on X, and what you see is that the American people, actually, it's not really all that controversial. The American people are with Nicki Minaj, whether they are Republican or even if they are Democrats. We're talking about 7 in 10 Democrats agreeing with Nicki Minaj that you, in fact, should show a photo ID to vote.
What? Nicki Minaj for Senate, man. Let's get Nicki Minaj to replace John fucking Thune. The spineless, feckless John Thune. The same guy who's been thwarting President Trump on all of the nominations that have not yet been appointed. Lindsey Halligan wouldn't go with Ed Martin, although that was mainly Tom Tillis, but still. All the nominations, and there's a ton. You guys have no idea how many nominations that President Trump has made that have not been Senate confirmed yet because John Thune is too busy sanctioning Russia. I don't understand it, man. This screenshot right here, 71% of Democrats, 95% of Republicans are being held hostage by John Thune and Chuck Schumer. Why? Because of the winner's dilemma. They know that the second we start to move in the direction of getting quality election reform, the second that happens, they become irrelevant. They become irrelevant. Not because John Thune's going to lose in his general election, but because John Thune is going to lose in his primary election. These guys are mostly from places that are one way or the other, period. You go to Chuck Schumer, you go to New York, and New York is Democrat. But it's not the Democrat that likes Chuck Schumer's policies. It's probably more in line with AOC, to be honest with you. The populist movement. These establishment swamp fucks. They're not even rats anymore. They're swamp fucks. I'm so fired up on this right now. I don't even think I realized. All right, I'm gonna let this one go. I got a goose fraba. Somebody get me a joint, man. I need a joint so bad right now. Please smash that thumbs up if you have not done so yet. I appreciate it. 673 people watching. Smash that thumbs up. It helps me out tremendously. How about a little comic relief? I have not seen this yet, but my good friend Liberty Lion in the chat, I asked him to make me a video, and he has made it. I've not seen it yet, so we're going to see this together the first time. Hold on 1 second here. And we've all seen the President Trump meltdown over his racist tweets. Well, Speaker Hakeem Jeffries has some words for you guys.
This disgusting video posted by the so-called president was done intentionally. Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior. This guy is an unhinged bottom feeder. President Obama and Michelle Obama are brilliant, caring, and patriotic Americans. They represent the best of this country. It's time for John Thune, Mike Johnson, and Republicans to denounce this serial fraudster who's sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue pretending to be the president of the United States.
Trump is racist. Trump is racist. Trump is a Nazi.
Excellent work from the Liberty Lion. You nailed it, brother. You nailed it, brother.